Hello class, and I would like to welcome you in our Lesson 1, Part 1, or the overview of organization, management, and systems. So this is under the Core Business Management Education 1, which is entitled Operations Management and Total Quality Management. So to start with, we will be dealing with an overview of the topics to be discussed here in this subject. So these are actually topics which has been discussed in your lower management subjects. And we will start with the overview of organization. An organization is considered to be a collection of people involved in pursuing the business objectives. At the same time, division of work among employees and the alignment of tasks towards the goal is very important. In pursuing this, there are 5 steps in the organizational process. The very first one is to determine the objectives or the goals of the company. So in determining the objectives and goals of the company, for it to be possible, it should be SMART, which means smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and at the same time, time-bound. Another one, which is the step 2, is the grouping or the workable departments. This is considering the staffing or allocating specific people for a specific task, which goes with the third step, which is assignment of authority and responsibilities, wherein here comes the job designation. What are the specific job descriptions and job responsibilities of each people assigned in each position? The fourth one is developing relationship. And this relationship would entail the subordinate and the superior. The superior should know how to motivate, to inspire the employee or the subordinate in order for them to maximize their employees. Because if an employee is motivated, not only in terms of monetary, but also in terms of praises, like for example, compliments, then an employee would have to work better in the company in the attainment of the goal. And lastly, of course, to come up with policies, to frame policies which are needed in the attainment of the goal set from the first step. So in the discussion of organization, we also need to deal with the different types of organization, and we have listed 2 of them. The very first one is considered to be formal organizational structure, and the second one is informal organizational structure. To differentiate the 2, when we talk about formal organizational structure, these are organizational structures considering policies, rules, and regulations in a formal way. Unlike for an informal organizational structure, it is just considering their norms, their beliefs, their culture, their traditions. Example for formal educational structure is an institution or a business company, associations, and other organizations which are governed by rules. And for informal organizational structure, we have ethnic groups, we have group of friends, society, family, relatives, and so on and so forth. Under the formal organizational structure, we have to deal with the 3 different subtypes. And the very first one is the line organization. The line organization is dealing with the position itself. They are listing in the organizational structure the positions. Unlike the second one, which is considered to be the functional organization, we are listing their different functions as to what division are they in, or what department are they in, what are the works or the job description of each department. And the third one is the line and functional organization, which is the combination of the 2. So aside from the positions listed, the departments are also listed, the bodies are also listed, and of course, the functions at the same time. Like for example, in SLC is organizational structure. We are headed by the school president. After the school president, we have the vice presidents. We have 3 vice presidents. The vice president for academic affairs, the vice president for administration, and the other one is the vice president for mission and identity. For the vice president of academic affairs, under which is, you can see there, the different departments, and these are headed by the dean. And under the dean, we have the program heads, then we have the faculty, and listing their specific jobs at the same time to be considered as line and at the same time functional organizational structure. The next topic that we need to discuss is the overview of management. And management is defined as the coordination and administration of tasks, and that leads to an objective, and that is the objective set by the company. And again, when setting the objective, it should be SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and at the same time time-bound. Other than that, it also sets the strategy and coordinating it with the staff efforts in order for it again to boil down into its goals and objectives. The management concept has 4 functions, and the 4 functions of management would include planning, organizing, leading, and at the same time controlling. So let's take them one by one. The very first one is what we call planning. And when we do planning, we are setting or establishing organizational goals, and to create this as course of actions to achieve these goals that we are talking about. An example of planning is strategic planning. And under the strategic planning, it is actually done beforehand because really it's a planning process. So the strategic plan would have to include performance indicators if goals are met. Other one is the key persons, who are the people which are responsible for this specific objective, wherein objective is also seen in the strategic plan, and that is our end point to meet that objective or to achieve that objective. Another one is logistics, or the things that we need in order for us to attain the goal. And we have strategy, of course, what will we do in order for us to achieve the goal, and of course time frame, how long will it take to realize the plan in the strategic plan. So that is planning. Secondly, we have organizing. And under organizing, we are dealing with the distribution of the resources. Other than the distribution of the resources, of course, the delegation of tasks. And this will deal again with the previous topic that we just had, which is the organizational structure. This is very important for us to know and to recognize who leads us or who leads the specific department in order for them to attain the goal. And this goal would again boil down to the specific objective or goals of the company. That's why we have to create our vision and mission in terms of having your own company, because that is how you envision yourself, and at the same time, what are the tasks to be done in order for you to see yourself in the future to be successful or to come up with or achieve your goals intended for the business. The third one is leading. And under leading, it has something to do with the motivation of the employees. And under the motivating of the employees, the superior should have the ability to encourage, at the same time to inspire, to motivate as is the specific employee doing a specific job. Take note that motivation does not only entail monetary rewards, but also it also considers compliments, praises, or what we call the non-monetary. Okay, and I think since employees today are very practical, they are more on this monetary, but of course it is really important also to boost their confidence if you give them compliments on a job well done or a task which is done, and at the same time these things would lead to the attainment of the goal or to achieve the goal set by the company. And the last one is what we call controlling. Under controlling, this is also called evaluating, wherein we are evaluating here the executed plan. Is it attained? So we will be considering here feedbacks. Feedback for improvement at the same time if you are selling a product. Another one is to monitor. And to monitor, we should do it in a way that we are dealing with problems which are avoided in the very first place. So we should be proactive and not to be reactive. That means when you are proactive, before the problem occurs, you are setting a way in order for this problem to be avoided, which is very different from reactive, because under reactive, you just have to address the problem if you are there. It has something to do with the quotation, we just cross the bridge when we get there, which is not supposed to be. Okay? And in the controlling process, it is also where incentives will be given to employees who has exemplified in terms of the job that they are doing, which is also good, because in this way as well we can motivate these employees and going back to the leading process. So those are the four functions, I should say, of management. The next term that we need to discuss is what we call the systems. And systems are a combination of policies, personnel, equipment, including computer facilities, to coordinate the activities of the business. It is actually a science because it is a process. It has a step-by-step procedure. Example is when doing a service. A company is considering what we call standard operating procedures, and this is considered to be a system. Other than that, if we talk about computer facilities, then that talks about technologies involved in order for our product to be done easily or produced easily, or even services to be rendered easily. Like for example, in the tourism and hospitality industry, we are dealing with the property management system or the Folio Plus, the point of sale system, and other systems used like reservation systems, online reservation systems, considering the GDS or the global distribution system, and the CRS or the central reservation system of a specific company. So those are the systems used in order for us to render easier service and more quality service. So therefore, to sum it up, when we talk about organization, these are referring to the collection of people who are involved in pursuing defined objectives. At the same time, it can be understood as a social system which comprises all formal human relationships. And the organization encompasses division of work among employees and alignment of tasks towards the ultimate goal of the company. While management refers to the coordination and administration of tasks to achieve a goal. Such administration activities include setting the organization's strategy and coordinating the efforts of the staff to accomplish these objectives through the application of available resources. And lastly, we have systems wherein this helps the businesses to achieve the goals, which businesses systems are combination of policies, personnel, equipment, and computer facilities to coordinate the activities of the business organization. So this ends the part 1 of lesson 1. Stay tuned for the next part of the video, and happy learning everyone. Thank you for watching.